the duality of life on the internet, where you're presenting yourself as somebody, but you're actually somebody else, can be very detrimental. Is there any kind of upside to this duality?
For me, something that I've found very important to do in life is just living an authentic life. And that's an idea that people struggle with a lot, is the idea of authenticity. A lot of times, especially right now, with the generational gap uh, in India, we put ourselves across like our parents or the internet or everywhere else in a certain way, and then our lives are something different. But there's no authenticity there. So even in my work as a coach, or even when I am talking to clients, they don't know a lot about me because I don't do a lot of self disclosure. But at the same time, they can get a pretty good idea of who I am as a person. And that's a value that I've really, really struggled to develop, because the idea of authenticity doesn't come to a lot of people. And it's something that is very, very difficult to have. And I think that when people sort of split themselves, or when they split their different identities in this way, then it can be very difficult to keep track of who knows what, how their life looks like to the outside world versus how it is internally. Because when you're pretending to be someone else, then other people also like you for that someone else, and they don't see the real you. And then when you're confronted with the real you, it's very difficult to like yourself as well, because it's like, well, everyone else likes this side of me. Then this other side, these other emotions that I experience, or this way that I live, must be something wrong, or it's not something that's very likable.
That goes for a lot of kids on social media, young kids as well on social media. Them seeing sensitive content, or content that does not necessarily benefit them, but it creates an image in their mind that this is how life is supposed to be lived. When they see content creators out there traveling, showing their best selves, not showing any kind of negativity on their channel, not necessarily negativity in terms of lashing out on other people, but their life is perfect. That is how the younger generation, the generation after us right now, is going to grow up with. Is there any way of reducing those effects?
I think it's very important to understand and to maybe re-examine the idea of perfect. Like, what is perfect in the first place? What you see on social media or what you see around you, what makes that perfect and not your real life or the things that you actually experience? Like, what is so appealing about this life? What is so appealing about the things that you see everywhere around you? And maybe trying to understand that the definition of perfect differs from person to person. We idealize a lot of things. It can be careers, it can be partners, it can be for kids, it can be maybe being a certain way, looking a certain way, or like having certain things in life. And we don't tend to examine what would be the negatives or what would be the downsides of having this perfect thing. So it's a good idea to just sort of sit down and take a moment to reflect on, what am I missing out on if I have this perfect life? If it's like so good, if it's so amazing, then why do I feel bad when I try to do that? Because there has to be something missing, right? If you are trying to like live this perfect life and it's not making you feel perfect, then maybe there's a gap there somewhere.